See, the older brother, he'd been hurt by the actions of his younger brother. His brother had embarrassed the family and caused his father and the family great stress. The older brother was angry at his younger brother and also angry at his father for allowing his brother to waste all that money and to bring shame upon his family. And it didn't take long before that anger towards his father and brother had evolved into bitterness. You know, bitterness may sound like an old-timey word to y'all, but I can tell you right now, it is alive and well here in 2010, and it is ugly. I think a really good analogy for bitterness would be the oil spill in the Gulf, and I'm sure y'all are all familiar with what's going on there. You know, something happened to that rig, and right now, thousands of gallons of oil are just spewing uncontrollably. The devastation from that event extends far beyond that damaged rig and will continue to have an impact long after the source of the problem is fixed. And bitterness is just like that, and it works the same in our lives. When we choose resentment and anger and unforgiveness, our lives spew destruction in the words we say and the way we act. We want to look like the well's all plugged, but when we are unwilling to forgive, the destruction continues to flow to the detriment of ourselves and to those around us. And like the older brother, I had allowed this to happen. I had allowed bitterness to take hold in my life. Someone very close to me was deeply suffering, and it was because of a careless words and action of someone else very close to me. I felt helpless, and I felt hopeless, and I allowed that situation to turn into bitterness. This person and their wrongs consumed every thought, and it overflowed into my actions as much as I'd like for it not to. Because with bitterness, you cannot hide it. It seeps from your pores, and it taints everything that you do. Bitterness knows no peace. And this wrong was something I just would not let go of. And I carried this with me. And for months and months, I allowed this to happen. And finally, I had a caring friend, just like the father in that story, who confronted me and helped me to see if there was a need for forgiveness. What I needed and what the older brother needed was to restore the relationship, forgive the wrongs of the past. And just as the younger brother had changed, and so had the person that I was bitter towards, I just needed to forgive and restore the relationship, which is what I did. You can see that the story of the lost son, along with many other stories in the Bible, they give you the opportunity to intersect your story with God's story, and at that point share it with others. So for you, where does your story intersect God's story? Where do you see yourself? Where would you place yourself in this story? Do you see yourself as the younger son, lost? Or the older brother, bitter? Or maybe both? Wherever you are in the story, my hope for you is an ending of celebration and of relationships restored, and that you'll ultimately be able to share with others how your story and God's story, how they intersect, and how that changed your life.